What if I told you that the challenges you're facing today aren't setbacks, but setups for something greater? That very obstacle in your path is shaping you into the person you were meant to be and you were called by God to be, right? So today we're going to dive into what it truly means to understand your value, not based on the opinions of others, but on the purpose that is within you. Whether you're on the field, in the weight room, or navigating life's toughest battles, your worth isn't determined by where you start, but by how you rise. So let's jump into it. Man, I'm so glad you guys are vibing with me tonight. What I want to do is I want to tie in the story of David and a portion of his story and how that interlocks with the lesson today about valuing your value. So for all those that may have seen Gridiron Games before, this is kind of how we started, right? This was the beginning of what Gridiron Games was about. It was about, giving valuable lessons to the athletes, and I would have a guest speaker come on. I've started interviewing people. And so I wanted to bring it back to the roots tonight, right? Because I just felt this it was in my spirit. So I wanted to get it, out into the market, into the open. But if you've ever read the book of Samuel, you would know that that was the beginning and the rise of a mighty king. This king was one of the greatest kings in the Bible. This king did so many different things to elevate a nation of people. This king fought through all the odds, whether it was through familiar adversity or just adversity from the nations around him. This king would be King David, but he started out as a young child, as we all do, right? But what we'll come to find out that even though others didn't value him, he valued himself and he understood his value. And because of that, not only do we see the rise of a great king, but we also see the liberation of a people. So when you go to the book of 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7, when you talk about value, the scripture says that a man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart, right? Why is that so important? Because how many times have we seen in sports, period, that we look at the fastest times, right? If we're going into the NFL combine right now, we want to see the guys that can run the fastest, who can jump the highest, who can do the long jump the farthest, right? How do they look when they're in movement drills? How smart are they? How tall are they? How much do they weigh? All of these particular things. These are called measurables. And isn't it funny that that's what man does?